Hi, I'm Martin Smith and this is your UFXBank Week in Review. Today we'll cover some of the major events of the past week and discuss how they impact the global currency markets. The Eurozone currency rose for the first time in 3 weeks against the US dollar and touched a 2-week high after European leaders agreed to a new Greek bailout plan and expanded the role of the state's rescue package. The shared currency rose by 1.43%. The euro-dollar pair was last trading at 143.56. The US dollar paired its third weekly drop versus the Japanese yen before House Speaker John Boehner withdrew from negotiations with the White House on a broad deficit reduction plan. The dollar-yen's pair declined by 0.75% on the week and closed at 78.52. The Canadian dollar rose, reaching the strongest level against the greenback in more than 3 years as investors took statements made by the Bank of Canada to mean the central bank may become more insistent with interest rate increases. Gains by the CAD were tempered after a government report showed inflation didn't increase as much as had been forecast, crushing rumours that the central bank would raise interest rates as soon as September. Canada's currency fell this week against almost all of its 16 most traded counterparts before a report showed that Canada's economy grew at a faster pace in May than in April. The Canadian dollar declined versus the US dollar, falling 0.56% to close at 0.9476. The pound sterling took a break on Friday, retreating from a 5-week high against the US dollar, but was fast on track for its best weekly performance since last May as investors approved a Euro region deal on Greece. The pound-dollar pair ran into steady profit-taking at higher levels and was last trading against the US dollar at 162.97. It gained 1.03% this week. In commodities, crude oil climbed to a 6-week gain on confidence that the US will increase its debt ceiling and as Eurozone leaders work to convince investors that plans to contain the debt crisis will be sufficient. Crude oil gained for a 4th week as US President Barack Obama and House Speaker John Boehner, hoping to avoid a US default, are pursuing a broad agreement to increase the debt limit. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said government chiefs had expanded the coverage of their bailout fund to allow it to purchase the bonds of debt-laden nations. Oil also gained after a horrific bomb blast in Norway's central Oslo. Crude oil was up by 2.70% this week and closed at $99.87 a barrel. Gold approached a record high on demand for an investment safe haven amid continual US and European debt concerns. The precious metal almost pulled off a solid week of consecutive gains, finishing the week up 0.47% and last trading at $1,600.78 per ounce. Probably the biggest story of the week and the one with the most economic impact was the Norwegian krone falling against most of its major peers after an explosion and consequent terrorist attack rocked the capital of Norway, causing an immediate reaction against investors to promptly sell the NOK. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed this week's review and you'll join us next week. Until then, be sure to visit us at ufxbank.com for simple, safe, secure trading. For UFXBank, I'm Martin Smith. Good luck and happy trading.